Mbukelisi siqala ihora lesibili ke manje kulolu hlelo lwakho abathi mabelithopa bathi ingane evele yamilisa bathi besayibabaza yaqala yagaqa ngamadolo bathe besashaqekile lengane yavele yasukuma yagijima lena ke mbukeli inqopha mlando yohlelo ngiyaqala ngqa phela ukuthi ke kube nohlelo lwesidlo sasekuseni kumabona kude uhlelo olusakaza ngesizulu kanye nesixhosa sibhaliwe emlandweni kholosa singabaqophi bomlando wakwayibona wena uhlelo lwezindaba oluthi Xhosa Zulu Sim
Take ndalibona.
Phi
apha ekhaya Jikelele.
Bese ngimangele.
Hayi nami ndimangela ukuthi ndalibona apha sizingqopha mlando ngenene. Siphinde sibulise kaloku literally kwijomolweni kumakhaya ngamakhaya kwindawo ngendawo nakumabhotwe ngamabhotwe nibulisa nina bantwana bomquba kuyo lenyanga yokuqaphela nokuqaqambisa amasiko ethu sisizwe esintsundu. Ntsundu lo uqaqambisa unxibelelwano lwethu kunye nomhlaba. Ukubuyela ke kusingaye ngoku singena kwiyure yethu yesibini siza kuthi siqhubeke koko sele sichaphazele kwiyure engaphambili kule yure ke siza kuthi sibe nalo nodliwano ndlebe nomtywili okanye singathi ke idiver ngelamakhumsha amade ngawetyala mbukeli masitshaye ngqo apho kufele khona ithola ndimlo unonkanyezi kalibisi uMahlongothi nazi ezihamba phambili ngalentsasa.
Owengamele ezokuthutha esifundazweni iLimpopo Florence Radzilani ubevakashela indawo esigameko lapho kushone khona abantu abangaphezulu kwama-20 emgwaqeni uR572 phakathi kweMayini Venetia kanye neMusina.
I said to the players already that I've started watching Chiefs. I said to them this morning and I confessed to them because of how tight the schedule is.
Imamelodi Sundowns zakuvana amandla neOrlando Pirates ngokuhla kwangolwesithathu kumdlalo we-DStv Premiership kwaye izaqhubisana neKaizer Chiefs kwi-MTN 8 ngokuhlwa kwangomgqibelo.
Egoli Gauteng wemntana mbibo kwandonga ziyaduma kwanyama kayipheli phela mazingendo davuka sitotobala thina siyiSoul Brothers sithi hlala ubukele ekhaya Jikelele kutholakala nezemidlalo nako konke ungaphuthelwa hlala ubhekile.
Iziphathimandla zezomgwaqo eLimpopo zikhola ukuthi ukudinwa komshayeli yikhona mbangela yengozi enyantisa igazi edlule nomphefumulo wezisebenzi ezingama-20 zaseMayini iDebia Venetia. Lengozi okungqubuzane kuyo ibhasi ebilayishele izisebenzi kanye neloli yenzeke emgwaqeni uR572 ngaphandle kwaseMusina. Kanti ke uphenyo lwesikhashana lukhomba ukuthi umshayeli weloli imphunyukile yabeka isithe laphezulu kwebhasi.
Kukholakala ukuthi lengozi yenzeke ngehora lesine ntambama izolo ngesikhathi izisebenzi zaseMayini zilibangise emsebenzini. Uphenyo lokuqala luveze ukuthi umshayeli weloli wehlulekile ukulawula labe selishayisa ibhasi ebelithwele izisebenzi. Iziphathimandla zomgwaqo eLimpopo zithi umshayeli weloli kusolakala ukuthi ubengenazo nezincwadi zokushayela eNingizimu Afrika.
The allegations were raised before me here that the driver of the truck, it's a foreigner who was operating on the road without the legal documents. Something which we want to strongly condemn. We are not saying foreigners must not come and operate here, but only those who have proper documents.
Inkampani yamabhasi Hope Transport ithi umshayeli wayo ubenesipiliyoni seminyaka eyi-13 enza lo msebenzi.
During night shift, we normally send best amongst us, and this driver that we also lost yesterday is one of the best. He's been driving for over 13 years on this road.
Imayini DBS Venetia isimise ukusebenza ngemuva kwalesigameko ukuze kwelulekwe izisebenzi ngokwengqondo.
Sivalile imayini akusetshenzwe imayini namhlanje. Senza ukuthi abantu bethole usizo ngokululeka ngokwengqondo. Abantu umndeni yabo le eshonile izolo abantu ababesebenza nabo.
Uphenyo ngembangela yalengozi luyaqhubeka.
Umongameli weli uCyril Ramaphosa uze nesiphakamiso sokuba amazwe atyebileyo ehlabathi kufuneka aqwalasele ngononophelo umba wokwabelana norhwebo oluza kuxhamlisa amazwe asakhasayo ngcono. UMzantsi Afrika ke uyinxalenye yona nkomfa enkulu yezizwe ezimanyeneyo nebanjelwe eNew York.
Umengameli Ramaphosa ubeke isithombe esicacile sokuthi amazwe antulayo nomphakathi odla imbuya ngothi emhlabeni jikelele yibona abathwele kanzima ngokwehla kwezinga lomnotho. Ukhuthaze ukuthi ezeyimakethe zomhlaba kufanele icabangele lawo mazwe asadonsa kanzima.
South Africa welcomes the important steps taken to address the impact of the current global economic crisis on low and medium income countries through the mobilization of additional financial resources for the 2030 agenda. South Africa also joins the call to address the fundamental development challenges that have long characterized our unequal world.
Unobhala jikelele wenhlangano yezizwe uAntonio Guterres ugqamise kakhulu ukuthi amazwe amaningi emhlabeni njengamanje abhekene nobubha nenkemane.
First, we must take action on hunger. In our world of plenty, hunger is a shocking stain on humanity and an epic human rights violation. It is an indictment of every one of us that millions of people are starving in this day and age.
Lo mhlangano waminyaka yonke wakulonyaka uzophinda ubukeze nebanga eselihanjiwe ngalokho inhlangano yezizwe eyazibekela khona njengomnqamla juquwayo ka2030 wemgomo yokufukulwa kwamazwe okuhlelo olwaziwa ngeSustainable Development Goals. Ingqungquthela izophothulwa ngoLwesibili oluzayo.
Umengameli wase-Ukraine uVolodymyr Zelensky ubonane namasosha asezweni lakhe athola ukwelashwa esibhedlela ese-New York eMelika ngaphambi kokuba ke ayokwethula inkulumo phambi kwabaholi bamazwe e-UN namhlanje. Kuzobe ngokuqala ke uZelensky ethula bukhoma inkulumo enhlanganweni yamazwe omhlaba i-UN selokhu phela kwagasela iRussia ezweni lakhe ngoNhlolanja wanyakenye. Kanti ke ngaphambi nje kokubhekisa amabombe komkhulu e-UN uqale ngokuthi ke ayobona amasosha ezwe lakhe ayibambe esifubeni sempi eqhubeka khona ke e-Ukraine. Kulindele ke ukuthi aphinde futhi abe nomhlangano nomengameli waseMelika uJoe Biden.
Namhlanje kuvalwa unyaka omnye oko kwangcwatywa ikumkanikazi yaseBritani uQueen Elizabeth. Isihlwele sahlanganisa kumbindi waseLondon ukuza kuzimasa umngcwabo kakumkanikazi wasweleke neminyaka engama-96 emva kweminyaka engama-70 esethronini. Ukufa kwakhe kwaphawula ukuphela kwexesha laseBritani. Ngexesha lolawulo lwakhe akazange abe ngumntu waseBritani nje kuphela kodwa waba nobukho obukhulu kwiqonga lehlabathi. Amasebe karhulumente waseBritani achithe imali eqikelelwa kwi-161 yezigidi zeeponti kumngcwabo waseburhulumenteni kakumkanikazi uElizabeth kunye neminyhadala enxulumene noko. Ngaphambi kokuba ube mhle ube uqhafuqhafu mbukeli qiniseka into yokubana uxhobisekile ngokwenzekayo kwisimo sezulu. Rhabula kodwa ungafinci. uKifilwe Kutumela wazalwa ngonyaka ka2003 ePitoli. Kethuba ke eneminyaka esibhozo umama wakhe waqaphela ukuba ixesha elininzi wayesoloko ephethe remote control nomboko imic ecula ke kwaye enxibe izihlangu ezichophileyo zikamama wakhe. Well, uzinxibile ke namhlanje. Ngexesha leminyaka elishumi umama wakhe wambhalisa ukuba ayofunda i-part-time kwi-course yemidlalo yeqonga i-South African State Theatre phantsi kwe-Usuthu Arts Production. Wake waculela ke uPatrice Mutsipe kwibala lemidlalo lase-FNB apho wafunyanwa khona ngumlawuli wakhe ukuba uqwese kwizinto ezintathu eziquka umculo, umdlalo weqonga kunye nomdaniso. Ukifilwe ke ulapha e-studio uzokwabelana nathi ngohambo lwakhe. Kifilwe.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Ngiyaphila njani wena?
Right.
Wow, okondibane ndikubuza ndikrwece into bana nguwe nyani lo ubucula phana kula sound besidlalile.
Yes, that's me.
Khawuthi nje hi.
Hi.
Siyakwamkela Ekhaya Jikelele.
Thank you.
Wow. And siyaphawula into yokubana the time ubukhula kwafumaniseka into yokubana ikhona into eyenzekayo apha enhlizweni yakho. Khawusibalisele ngohambo lwakho lokucula, and I mean it's something that was discovered usemncinane. Ukuzawuthi kangoku share with us with your beautiful journey.
Okay, so what happened is I was born with a heart condition, which is my heart had basically 3 holes, and it wasn't basically discovered the time I was born. It was discovered the time I was 3 years of age. And after discovering it, I had to go under a major heart operation, and it was a success, but it was a process, you know. It was a lot of process, a lot of pain, a lot of frustrations for my mom because she was alone, you know. She was alone in this journey and everything. So, yeah. That was the journey.
But through it all, you managed to rise above all the odds. As you have performer go FNB Stadium, and I believe that the journey has been quite amazing. Can you share some of your achievements in the musical journey? This unfortunate circumstance, but it never defined you and your destiny.
You know, I'm going to share something small. When I was growing up, my mom taught me prayer. She taught me that I am nothing without God. I am nothing without prayer. So I would always pray, kneel down and pray for everything, for my career, for my healing, because even the healing was a process also. Because before I decided to go into theater, I had a problem, obviously, because of the heart, because of the major things that we do in theater. Theater requires a person to be bold. Theater requires a person to be active at all times. It requires a person to be basically be yourself and have the strength that they need. So I suffered a few years, but after that I was fit to do everything. I was fit to exercise before I get into class, or before I get into nurturing myself into a production, or before I get into any kind of work that I was given. I had to exercise, I had to build my body, I had to be this fit in order to be available on stage, in order for people to see me on stage, because theater is a life thing. If you have a mistake, people will see it. If you do a mistake, people will literally see it right there, right now. So it's basically a recently thing. You know, it's not like a TV where else you can edit or do whatever. Theater, they can, yes, you are live. People can literally see your journey. People can literally see your emotions, what you connect, what you give to people. Basically, theater, I've learned that what you give to people is what people is going to give you. So you basically connect with your audience more. They have taught me that you don't perform for yourself, you perform for your audience. You give it to your audience. You give the story to your audience. You basically sell your story to your audience. So theater, we explain a story with our bodies. We use basically our bodies every single time. We use our vocals every single time. So basically in acting, we use our bodies. That's why you need to be bold. That's why you need to be structured for this kind of role that they have given to you. So theater has a lot. Theater, I've basically enjoyed the journey of theater because I've started theater in 2013. My first performance was at FNB Stadium 2014. The time I was performing a show called Beating the Ground. It was my first time on stage performing for a big audience. And one of the VIPs was Patrice Motsepe, you know. And I was told after I performed that you know who was watching you. And I was like, who? They were like, Patrice Motsepe. I was like, what? No, you're lying. So I was like, oh, okay. So I gave it to the audience, you know. I had remarks, you know, positive remarks, people telling me that you were talented. At a very young age, I was basically 10 years of age. I was 10 years of age, and people were telling me that, like, you were talented. They even went to my director, telling my director that this child is something else. She is a star. She is a rising star. So the other big production that I was included in, it was this year, which is Letters of Hope. It's an award-winning film that has been staged at the South African State Theatre, July. So basically it was a musical. They staged it as a musical at the South African State Theatre. So I was one of the cast members that was in the Letters of Hope, and it was a nice experience. That production made me aware of the power that I have inside of me. It made me aware to know that I am a rising star. Because in this journey, you also have negative things. You also have, you know, consequences. You also have situations that will basically try to bring you down. But most of the time, when I do these kind of productions like Letters of Hope, they gave me strength to know that I can do this. I have power, and the power in me, I can use it, you know, to bring people towards me, to bring my audience towards me. And also prayer. Prayer helps a lot. Every single time when I go in any place, in any environment, when I get a call, okay, we want to interview you. Okay, we want you to be part of the cast members in this kind of production. I pray first. I say, God, as I step into this production, you know what I have. You know what I can give. So you make me feel at home. Just pave a path for me to pass. Things will be very easier for me when I do that. So I was basically groomed to pray, to respect, to love, you know, because love starts by myself, to love myself, to understand myself. And theater basically brings you closer to your inner self, you know, because the emotions that you share while acting, the emotions that you basically give to people while acting,
highly resonate.
They highly resonate. You get people on stage. After performing, I get people telling me that, you know, I was crying. When I'm performing, I can't see people because I'm in my zone. I have basically tapped into that zone of me being that kind of a character that they want me to be, you know? So people would tell me, you know, I was crying while you were performing. I was like, why? No, like, you feel like you did the most, girl. I was like, oh, thank you. You know, I'm still learning in this industry. I'm still learning because this year I recently graduated from Usutu Arts Production. I got 4 certificates, which is music, drama, and dance. And I also qualified to get a certificate of a theater practitioner. So now I'm a theater practitioner, and yeah, this is just an amazing journey. It's an amazing journey. It's basically, I'm blessed. I feel like I'm blessed to be part of this industry.
Wow, amazing. I mean, you've said it all, and I mean, I love how you mentioned that prayer groomed you to be the person that you are today. I mean, we live in a world, there's a lot of negativity. So if I'm not, and I mean, you are a rising star. And when you perform at theater, abantu, they resonate highly with the performance yako. Nalapha Ekhaya Jikelele njengoba uthetha nje ndiqinisekile nababukeli bethu bathi heke uchana ucwethe. You know what? There's an insert that we want to play equlathe umsebenzi wakho, because you've said a mouthful. Mbukeli we Ekhaya Jikelele khabula ufince kucwambu lumnandi uzawuchukumisa incambi yenhliziyo yakho. Wow. I'm filled with so much pride. Uziva njani xa uzibukela useqongeni? I mean, ndiqinisekile you reflect back in your journey kwizinto odlule kuzo and now you're making it kwi-stage ezinkulu.
You know, when I see myself sing, every time when I look at my videos singing, it draws me back to the challenges that I had. It draws me back to the situations that I had, you know. And every time I told myself, I'm self-driven. That's my coping mechanism. I always tell, every time I have this strategy that I use, every time when I wake up, I look myself in the mirror and I say, Jikelele, you're beautiful, you are strong, you are talented, you're a star. That's my coping mechanism. That's what I also lean on. So every time when I see my videos, it draws me back to everything, the outcome of the life that I chose. You know, I am not perfect, but I decided to choose a life where else it's going to make me have a bright future. It's going to bring stars and positive things in my life. That's the life and the route that I have literally decided to embark on. You know, so that's basically how I feel every single time when I see my videos. I even cry sometimes, and I'm like, why are you crying? Every time when I cry, I'm like, why are you crying? Like, why are you crying? But remembering that I am a star, you know, and I'm a rising one, you know, I'm an upcoming artist. And where I want to get, where I want to reach, I will reach. Yes. It's just that sometimes God's timing is not my time. If God says it's not your time, wait, I will wait. You know, if God says the robot is green, you can now enter, you can now go on, you can now put your leg forward and one step ahead is something. You know, one step being one step ahead of something is something. You get. So that's what I basically lean on. That's what I motivate myself, and the motivations that I have, I get from my mom. The motivations that I have, I get from my mom. She would always tell me that, Jikelele, no matter what you go through, you're a star.
You are a star, Jikelele. You are a star. And I believe that. I mean, this was one powerful sermon. That's why thank you so much for the work that you do and for touching so many lives. I'm pretty sure Ontangabako, they are truly inspired. Nabadala to say, you know what? Let me relive my dream again. Thank you so much for joining us. Ekhaya Jikelele siyazinga ngawe kwaye sikunqwenelela okuhle kodwa in your journey. Rise as a star. Thank you. Right, Mbukeli, Diropile. Take us to the break. Uti SABC Ekhaya Jikelele. That's your camera.
So I must just say.
Yes, I will to look. Hi, to the break.
Okay, to the break. Ekhaya Jikelele. Let's go to the break.
Ew, thank you. Wow. High five, Miguel.
Siphinde sikwamukele ke mbukeli lapha ekhaya Jikelele. Okwamanje ake sibheke ezemidlalo kwezebhola likanobhutshuzwayo ompetha abavikela isicoco se-DStv Premiership okuyiMamelodi Sundowns bazobhekana nesonto elinzima njengoba bezodudulana nomkhaya baseSoweto iOrlando Pirates kanye neKaizer Chiefs emqhudelwaneni ke engafani. iBrazilians izoqala iyovakashela ezimnyama ngolwesithathu kusihlwa emidlalweni ke weLeague. Ebese kuthi ngomgqibelo isingathi abafana baseNaturena emlenzeni wesibili wesigaba esandulelwa amanqamu emqhudelwaneni MTN 8.
Iningi lifuna ukuthi iMamelodi Sundowns ikhale emuke nesicoco seLeague ihlandla lesikhombisa kulandelana kule season. Ithe isuka nje kule season leli qembu lasePitoli lavele lavula igebe ekhulu njengoba lishiya iqembu elisemva kwalo okuyiGolden Arrows ngamaphuzu ayisikhombisa.
I said to the players already that I've started watching Chiefs. I said to them this morning and I confessed to them because of how tight the schedule is.
Ekamagebula efuna ukuzibuya njengoba zedlule kokuqala nje emidlalweni yazo eyishiya kalolunye ezidlale kamumva.
We try to go to the games with the guarantee that we can compete as good as possible and yeah, that's all. I think yesterday we didn't get the result that we were looking for, obviously, but it's only the first half of the game and now we have to focus in the next one.
abalandeli bazokwazi ukushiya imoto zabo enkundleni ye-FNB njengoba bezohlinzekwa ngezokuthutha izobafikisa enkundleni Orlando iphinde ibabuyisele emumva emva komdlalo.
Traffic management plan has been devised to make sure that we efficiently manage the free flow of traffic. That's before, during, and especially after the game. We know that people will be leaving to various destinations.
Amasango enkundla azovulwa seligamenxe ihora lesine liyoyilahla kunina kusenjalo abalandeli banxusa ukuba basheshe befike ukuze zonke izinto izohamba ngononina.
Asijonga kwimidlalo emasiyilindele namhlanje kwi-DStv Premiership, iStellenbosch izakunyathelana neMorocco Swallows at Danny Craven Stadium, kanti ke iGolden Arrows yona iza kundwendwela iCape Town Spurs eAthlone Stadium. Ze umdlalo ke wokugqibela abe phakathi kweRichards Bay kunye neChippa United eMhlathuze Sports Stadium. Yonke ke le midlalo ingokuhlwa namhlanje. Diving ke mbukeli ngumdlalo wamanzi odumileyo owenziwa ngendlela ezahlukeneyo kwihlabathi jikelele. Diving le ngomnye wemidlalo elule ehlabathini efuna kuba abathabathi nxaxheba bavele bantywile eqongeni okanye kwi-springboard emanzini benze i-acrobatics ukufumana ke amanqaku amaninzi kubagwebi. Nangona kunjalo ke emva kokuba ulula ubonakalo lomdlalo onzima kakhulu kwaye unzima kunokuba ubonakala kwaye ufuna ukuzinikela okupheleleyo kuye nabani na ofuna ukuya encochoyini. Unono lethu ke ngalentsasa linenekazi eliselula eliqale lo mdlalo lineminyaka elithoba kwaye ke liyintshatsheli ye-National Youth izihlandlo ezimbini kunye nomele uMzantsi Afrika ehlabathini. Izihlandlo ezibini ke elinenekazi liselula lingumdlalo wokuqala omnyama ukumela uMzantsi Afrika kumdlalo we-diving. Ukhona ke apha e-studio Zaleka Methula. Zaleka, welcome to Ekhaya Jikelele. Unjani? Ndiyaphila nam. I mean, we learned that you are the first black person to represent South Africa in the diving sport. And I mean, you started diving at the age of 9. We don't have a lot of athletes in the sport of diving. What inspired you to get into this sport professionally?
So basically, I've always loved being in the water and to find a sport that was different from many sports. And also the fact that I've just loved being in the water. One of my coaches at St. Mary's, she asked me to join one of their clubs because she could see that I had talent and she could see that I could take the sport really far. And so I joined her club, and over the years I just began to love the sport and I continued to improve. And so when I made my first national team in 2021, I knew this is where I wanted to be and I knew I wanted to continue to represent SA.
Wow. And I understand that before you get to the game, there's a lot of preparation that goes through it. Can you take us through, I mean, the preparation that goes behind when you are a sports diver, or rather a diver?
Yeah, there's a lot of preparation that has to go into the sport, both mentally and physically. And the physical part of it is that we have to obviously train our dives in the water, try to get them as perfect as possible. And we also do dry land drills, which is like trampoline work. We do stuff in the foam pit. My coach pulls us on the belt in order to prepare ourselves in the water. And also the mental aspects of diving is very important. So I work with a sports psychologist. Her name is Jo Mountford. And so I recently joined her Beat It With Jo diving program. And so that has basically taught me all the mental aspects of diving. And, you know, I continue to improve, you know, with the mental part of diving.
Wow. I mean, I had no idea there's also like a sports psychologist, which is very interesting. It shows that, I mean, there's a lot of preparation that goes behind psychologically, emotionally, physically as well. Yeah. And we understand that you'll also be participating in the World Championship. That is massive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, what did it take you to qualify for such a big game?
Honestly, I feel like it's just discipline, showing up to practice every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And I feel like that's what separates the good athletes from the great athletes, is just showing up for practice every day, putting your all into this, into training, and also, you know, obviously achieving all your dreams, like representing SA.
Wow, showing up for your dreams and also showing up for practice. I mean, should you get enough points, what will that lead up to?
So obviously there's the Paris 2024 Olympics next year that's happening. And so an individual would look to either make the final or place, you know, obviously in the top 3, and that can qualify you to represent your country at the Olympics.
Wow, amazing. I mean, your journey is quite interesting because, I mean, we've also seen you representing South Africa in the FINA World Junior Diving Championship with another young athlete. And I mean, can you just explain to us how is the duo or collaboration if you work with another athlete? Can you just explain to us how is it?
I think many tend to underestimate the power of teamwork. I mean, sorry, teammates. Teammates are there to help you on those bad days. You know, they lift you up, they keep the spirits going. And I feel like having Carrie with me, along with me in my journey, is just amazing. We both lift each other up. We're there for each other. We just continue to help each other. Yeah.
We also understand that you are a student. You're doing grade 11. And I mean, I know that academics can actually be tough, but you are excelling in your academics. And also in the diving sport, you are also slaying, you are achieving, doing amazing work. I mean, one may wonder, how do you juggle between the two, make sure that you make time for your schoolwork and also practice?
So basically, being in grade 11, the workload has picked up a lot, and I've found it hard to, you know, manage both diving and academics. But I've obviously found many ways in order to help me balance the two, and that's basically out study on the way to diving and on the way back. And when I get home, I'll try to push as much as I can. And you know, I also still have to work out at home, but I also have to get my schoolwork done. So I have to still juggle those two. But with the help of my my friends and my teachers, they've really supported me through this journey, and I'm really grateful for them.
Wow, gratitude. I mean, it's great that you're also mentioning them because support really goes a long way. I mean, part of your achievements, you're also awarded by the Gauteng Sports Awards, and your award was the most promising athlete of the year. And I mean, winning such a victory is quite inspiring. And I mean, how are you hoping to use this victory to also inspire young athletes who look up to you, or also, you know, who want to slay in this game of athletes?
I hope that what I'm doing, you know, the sport that I love doing, I hope that inspires many of the youth, and especially the people that look like me, that it's okay to be different. Being different is good. I mean, if we're all the same, it's not really that interesting if we're all the same. And so I just want them to keep going, keep pushing, even if your dreams seem impossible, just keep going, because you're one step further into achieving those dreams.
And I mean, back to the intro that, I mean, you were the first black person to actually represent South Africa in the diving sport. We know that it's dominated by white people. And talking about being different, why is it important for you to stay grounded and rooted in your identity as an African and be proud of being black? We know that, I mean, there are also colonial traumas that are also binding us as black people to make us believe that we are not enough, we cannot compete in global stages. But here you are, you're living a proof that it is all possible. What do you say to that black child out there who's saying that, yes, I mean, I'm black, but I can also make it?
I 100% agree with the fact that being different is what makes you unique, and you have to embrace the fact that you're different. I mean, it took me a long time to embrace the fact that I'm different from many other athletes in the diving world, but it's okay to be different, and being different is what separates you from the rest. And that's basically what I've used to be this successful, and I'm going to continue to use that and embrace the fact that I'm different.
Amazing work. And speaking of being successful, where do you see yourself in the next coming years? What can we expect from Zaleka?
So at the end of the year, I'll be competing in the Africa Champs. And so an individual is looking to come first in order for you to qualify for the Olympics and achieve a team, to achieve a continental spot for the Paris 2024 Olympics. So I'll be looking to achieve that. And yeah, a lot of big things are coming.
Wow. So as an achiever, I know that there are also young athletes, especially looking at the rural areas, who are maybe who have the misfortune of not having enough resources in their school. I mean, looking at the Department of Education, I mean, sports as well, do you think they are doing enough to nurture young talent like yourselves, but also looking at the rural areas?
I think there is a lot of improvement that needs to be done, but I think we're taking a step in the right direction, and I hope that we can continue to get to where we need to be, and in order for everyone to have a bright future.
Wow, amazing work. Zaleka, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your powerful journey in the diving. We wish you all the best. Rise, nothing will stop you. You are unstoppable. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Right mbukeli wami apho kungakho ke siniphathele kona kwezemidlalo besithatha nayo kaloku uZaleka isixelela banzi njengoko engene kumdlalo we-diving uyathi nentombi bajonga uyachwechwa unyukela encochoyini kokumbukeli masithi nje qhwi evenkileni iqiniseka uqusha lazi ubukele ekhaya jikelele apha kwinkqubo ndaba yakho evelisa neqaqambisa kaloku inkcubeko yethu singama Afrika nolwimi lwemveli uDTT qhwi evenkileni siyabuya ngayindawo.
Siphele sikwamukele ke mbukeli ekhaya jikelele sibonga kakhulu ngokuthi ke uhlanganyele kanye nathi thina la ekhaya uyazi ukuthi siphethe izinto khala kamnandi kade sixoxisana nentsha ebikhuluma ngendaba yokudive ukuthi sihlabani lapha ekudiveni njengamanje ke sesingena ke kwabaculi noma abaculayo uMax Hoba uyisihlabani ke somculo weAfro Soul esesizakhele igama ebalazweni lomhlaba ngenxa phela yephimbo lakhe elimtoti okumenza ukuthi ehluke embukeli koza kwabo ukuthi usekhombise ikhono lokushaya ingoma ngezilwimi ezahlukahlukene ngenhloso phela ukuthokozisa ihlwele asuke edlala phambi kwazo umculo wakhe udle ngeindikimbe exoxa ngothando ubumbano ingqinamba ekhungethe umphakathi kanye nokunye usaka futhi waqoka ke nasemncintiswaneni weindondo ama-Summers kanye namawela awards ngealbum ke esihloko esithi Traveling Men. Max Hoba sikubingelele.
Hello njani?
Sikwamngelela ekhaya jikelele.
Jabulele Nkosi.
Hayi ngiyathanda mbukeli uMax mangabe sixoxa just before mana ube correct ukuthi uMax Hoba not Max Hoba.
No, not Hoba.
Liqhamuka kanjani ligama lika Hoba?
No, so igama lami nguMaxhoba Maponya. So Max Hoba just
uhlukanise uMaxhoba.
Yeah, ngiqale in the genre of hip hop. So we needed to be cool somehow, you know. So okay, and there was Bessie Feud in the crew or Max or Mac, you know, and then it just came to about, oh man, this makes Max Hoba.
Max Hoba. So much mutu uqale kwi hip hop like ufika kanjani phola Afro Soul?
Kaloku isphiwo sesokucula and fortunately ndikhule mamela all different genres and the opportunity I got uqala kwami ku-industry was through hip hop with my late friend WHP. And so we worked together for about 8 to 10 years before I went solo. So yeah.
So kahle ke before WHP uqale kuphi vele sambe nje step back.
Okay, started singing and touring as a 15-year-old singer-dancer. And then I Emundi and I joined a group called G2G. This was in the late 90s. And Lapo Besenza, hip-hop, quite... I don't think... Besenza, yeah. And then where I took a particular direction was moving to Upper Gauteng and teaming up Nojaba in 2001, and we then started doing hip hop. I was doing vocals and he was rapping. And 2010 I released my first solo album, a Afro Soul, titled Making History.
Manje Max abantu mangabe kakhulukazi mabesuka endaweni mhlawumbe besuka kwaZulu Natal besuka Eastern Cape beze lapha eGauteng bezofuna ukufezekisa amaphupho abo kuye kube ijene engekho lula wena ngizwa nje ukuthi nje wafika eGauteng wasubheka wasuhlangana
no summarize, you know, I mean, look,
what are the challenges that you went through and ufike kanjani ekutheni uzosebenzisana no WHP?
So yazi I think because they turned out to tell more the positive side of the story than we all know, but we've gone through the struggles. So my bit of the struggle, I mean, if you get up and get big one, you know, I left school while writing my final exam in Marketing 3 at university. Came here, gonda andizenza leyo fundi marketing.
Sana usuka 30 kaloku bese kusele kancinci.
Kunini kukancinci. So I came and I mean, I was what they called a serial squatter. Squatter up and squatter pan. Man, ndiqhathi cheba hanza hlala iveki, ndihlala 2 weeks, ndihlala 3 weeks, you know. And Nanochaba actually we stayed down the road, up at Hampton Road, you know, up at Brixton. Yeah, and for years, man, we were trying to crack it. With not so much success, because if you think about back in the day, because it was quiet or it was super big. It's like somebody trying to come with a new genre now. At the height of a piano, you know. You're not going to have an easy time. But yeah, the drive and the passion and because I've never known enye into ngaphandle komculo for mna, you know. So I was like, jonga ngizawubona uba iphelela phi le way, and fortunately God has just given me sustenance with it.
Siyambonga futhi uNkulunkulu ngoba phela uyabona ukuba uphumela ngabe asitholi lo mculo mnandi kangaka. So ngiyazi ngithe mabe ngibheka ngiyabona ukuthi hayibo kade use Paris, uya ko Nairobi and all those places. Like ungaqhathanisa uthi kunjani ukuba le ukuperform emazweni angaphandle kunala ekhaya?
Look, I won't lie, from a perspective of Mali and professionalism, they beat us.
10-0.
From an audience perspective, you know, sometimes there's a relationship that you have with an audience as a Ekhaya, and that one, Tina, we win it hands down. You know, I feel like umahluko is just in the approach of business. If we were to structure into zethu from a business perspective, I feel like we don't respect the arts, Tina Ekhaya. We take it for granted. You know, and we hardly ever make a decent living as arts practitioners because of how the business is formatted at Ekhaya.
Recording labels.
So I'm very fortunate. From day one, I've always been an independent artist. Never had a record deal, so to say. And in Nakona, it's not because the reason didn't assign a record deal, you know. I probably was not good enough, or I was not commercial enough for certain labels. Because then I went ahead and through Sambro, I studied music publishing with West University, and I managed to run. I've been managing to run my own label since 2010 to today. You know, Ingaki is that sometimes, you know, we go for the quick fix. You know? Sifuna the instant fame, sifuna the instant gratification, sifuna nemali pokotini. So instead of ulinde la 1,000 uzayifumana, ufuna le 20 rand yangoku. But uzayigqibe le 20 rand, and then what? Then you're going to say abantu bakyela imali.
So ngoba usho ke na ukuthi into ebalekile futhi ngiyathanda ukuthi ena ufundile nasevethu ufunde publishing, because then you get to understand kakhulu eli side, especially business side, ukuthi usebenza kanjani, unlike ukuthi uvele uye udive in entweni ongayazi. Manje ngiyazi ukuthi kuneculo elimnandi lithi unodoli wami. Uyayibhalela yini?
No, ndiyazibhalela most of the time. It's only on the recent album Beyele, The Journey Continues, that I was like, let me try to diversify a bit and work with abanye abantu engazange ndasebenza nabo before. But oftentimes there's balela, and then I will just collaborate, and let's say I'll come up with a hook or with a melody. I'll invite maybe someone that I know, but it delivery from a writing perspective is ahambelana nalento ndifuna uyithetha, and then I'll tell them ndifuna ukuthi then ban palele, and then we hit it.
Hayi cha ziyasha, ayi unodoli wami ngiyamthanda mina ke. Ngizwa kahle usudlala ngithi nami yimlo popa yimlo nodoli. Uma sesiphetha nje Max, because ngifuna ukuthi save isikhathi, ngizokunika isikhathi sokuperform, ngabe sengisidla sonke. Asiphethe nje ukuthi mhlawumbe yini engalindelwa abalandeli bakho baxhumana nawe kanjani? Because ngiyazi Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, I forgot to talk about that. You are doing a tribute for Ujabu Khanyile. How nice.
So my next performance is that the 30th of September at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Then I tribute to Ujabu. It's going to be an amazing time.
No, I'll do that.
And then currently, my current project that's out also, there's a series called Outlaws. I was fortunate to be called in to do the music supervision for Yona. Contributed in composing some of the tracks for the series. Got a couple of tours. I just finished a tour now. We were 2 weeks ago from Europe for like a 2-month stint in Europe. Now October, I'll be doing a tour in the US and then until till mid-November.
All right, Max Hoba, thank you so much
man.
for chatting to me. Ngiyabonga
Ngosika
usiqoqisana nami namhlanje kuseni. Sibuya kakhulu ngesikhathi sakhe siyazi ukuthi usazobuya kwe-performance sokubona
Sure thing.
usushaya into zakho. Mbukeli lobe ku-Max Hoba kuwumculo we-Afro Soul akahambi-ke kodwa-ke mangabe sisiqunje-ke iy'tolo sizobuya mangabe sesibuya sizobuya-ke sesinika icwecwe lakhe elimnandi ufuna ukuphuthelwa hlala nje kanjalo nethezeke sobuya ngo-Max Hoba nomculo omnandi.
Ekhaya izolo oqiya nkulu nababahlambi nangana makebe enqango kuhlanti uthandi kisi osindafu ihle ndibona kwaye ngayiphinda ubithuba likho khondizawujika utsiku zawutyiwa emva kwemini ndicela niqonde ndimelango ayunotoliwa ndimelango eyunotoli ondimelango kwam unotoliwam ewe ndifuna nimbo jonga ndibizelena hayi ndibizelena bazali ondibizelena bazali bam ewe ndifuna bambone nakukwenzeka ehlabe enyuka exela imiqhaka maqhubushalelali ngoku ndiyafunwa tsanzotolika akasatshayi ngalo nqawe ndimthandela uzazi isimilo nembeku kodungamqala ungaphela uzisola ibekela ubala ewe ndiyamazi uyunodoli onimelango ayunodoliwa ndimelango ayunodoli enimelango kwam unodoli wam ewe ndifuna nimbojonga ndibizelena ama ndibizelena aya ndibizelena bazali